Sometimes the smallest things in our daily routine can end up making the biggest difference in our health, especially as we get a bit older. And honestly, what I'm about to share might surprise you as much as it surprised me the first time I saw it in my practice. I want you to picture something familiar. The comfort of a warm shower at the end of a long day, the steam curling around you, washing away the tension, the aches, maybe even some of the worries. It's a daily ritual for so many of us, almost sacred, isn't it? But what if I told you that the way you shower, especially one particular habit most people don't even think twice about, could quietly raise your risk of stroke overnight? Now, before you start to worry or shake your head, let me share a story. Not so long ago, I had a patient named Harold. He was 67, retired, and one of those fellows who believed in keeping things neat: his garden, his kitchen, his daily shower schedule. Harold would always laugh and tell me, "Doc, a hot shower is the best part of my evening." But a few months back, he came to my office, not laughing this time. He'd had a frightening episode: dizziness, a sudden headache, a sense that something wasn't quite right. It was gone in a flash, but it left him rattled. When I sat down with him, we went over everything: diet, sleep, exercise, medications. But then I started digging into the little things, those daily habits that we so often overlook. And that's when the puzzle started coming together. Now, if we haven't met before, let me introduce myself. I'm Dr. Robert Jansen, and for over 30 years, I've been a specialist in men's brain health. I've worked with thousands of men in their 60s, 70s, and beyond, helping them navigate everything from memory changes to strokes, and all the quirks our brains pick up along the way. My goal with this channel is simple. I want to give you the inside track on protecting your brain, living longer, and feeling better, using real stories, practical advice, and the very latest science. If you're watching this, you're already taking an important step. So, let's get into why this common shower habit could be quietly putting you at risk, and what you can do about it. You see, as we age, our bodies become a bit more sensitive to sudden changes, whether that's blood pressure, temperature, or even how quickly we stand up. For Harold, like so many of my patients, his evening shower had become more than just a way to get clean. It was almost therapeutic. But there was one part of his routine that stood out. He would finish his hot shower and, almost automatically, blast himself with cold water, right at the end. "It wakes me up," he said, "and I read somewhere it's good for the skin." What Harold didn't realize, and what so many men and women over 60 don't know, is that this habit can shock the system in a way that increases stroke risk, particularly if you already have certain risk factors. The sudden shift from hot to cold water might seem invigorating, but it can cause a dramatic change in blood pressure. Imagine your blood vessels expanding in the heat, relaxed and wide open, and then, with a twist of the dial, you hit them with icy cold water. The vessels constrict almost instantly. For younger people, the body compensates quickly. But for those of us in our 60s and 70s, the system isn't as nimble. This rapid change can create turbulence in blood flow, which, in certain cases, may trigger a small clot to move or even cause a vessel to rupture, leading to a stroke. What's especially tricky is that, for many, there's no warning sign. You can feel perfectly fine, have perfect blood pressure readings at the doctor's office, and still have vulnerable blood vessels in the brain. That's why I'm so passionate about bringing these hidden risks to light. When Harold and I talked through his shower routine, the look on his face was pure disbelief. "All these years, I thought I was being healthy," he said. And to be fair, he was, in so many ways. But it's these little details, the overlooked habits, that can sometimes trip us up the most. I want you to take a moment and think. Do you have any routines that you do almost on autopilot? Maybe you've picked up a few health tips here and there, but aren't quite sure if they're the right fit for your age or health history. That's exactly why we're here together today. I want this channel, and these conversations, to be a place where we can sort out the truth from the trends, and help you make choices that actually support your brain, your heart, and your quality of life. Now, if you're finding this eye-opening, or if you've ever ended your shower with a blast of cold water, do me a favor. Tap that like button so I know this message is reaching the right people. And if you want more honest, practical advice on keeping your brain and body strong after 60, make sure you subscribe and tap that bell icon. It helps me keep sharing stories like Harold's, and most importantly, it lets me hear back from you. Drop a simple yes or no in the comments. Have you ever tried switching from hot to cold in the shower? Your feedback really helps me shape the topics we cover next, so don't be shy, every answer is read. Going back to Harold, after we pinpointed this habit, we made a few gentle tweaks. Nothing drastic, just small changes to his routine. And you know what? Not only did his symptoms disappear, but he started feeling more energetic and clear-headed in the mornings. The relief he felt knowing he had some control over his risk was immense. And that's what I want for you, too, confidence and clarity as you navigate these years. It's not about fear, it's about empowerment. As we continue, I'll walk you through exactly what happens in the brain and body during these sudden temperature changes, how stroke risk develops as we age, and most importantly, what steps you can take right now to protect yourself without giving up those comforting rituals you love. When you think about it, our bodies are truly remarkable in how they adapt to changes, especially when we're young. But as we cross into our 60s and beyond, things that once seemed trivial can start to have a much bigger impact. That's why I want to spend a little time helping you really understand what's happening inside your body, especially your brain and blood vessels, when you make that sudden shift from hot to cold in the shower. Because it isn't just about comfort, it's about how these changes can set the stage for something as serious as a stroke. Picture this. When you're standing in a warm, steamy shower, your blood vessels are relaxed and dilated. The warmth tells your body, all is well, we can let the blood flow easily. Your blood pressure drops a bit, your heart rate steadies, and there's this gentle sense of calm. But as soon as you flip that dial to cold, maybe because you read it boosts circulation, or maybe it's just become your habit, your blood vessels suddenly clamp down. It's almost like your body hits the brakes without warning. For younger folks, this quick adjustment isn't a problem. The heart and arteries are flexible, and they recover quickly. But in our 60s, 70s, or beyond, the arteries may have stiffened a bit, or maybe there's some plaque buildup that never caused trouble before. Now, here's where it gets tricky. That sharp constriction, especially if you already have high blood pressure, diabetes, or a history of smoking, can create a sudden spike in blood pressure. For a split second, the force inside those arteries increases dramatically. If there's even a small weak spot in the wall of a blood vessel, this could be enough to cause it to leak or, in rare cases, rupture. Alternatively, if there's a bit of plaque or a small clot sitting quietly in one of your arteries, this sudden turbulence can dislodge it, sending it racing toward your brain. That's what leads to what we call an ischemic stroke, a blockage cutting off blood to part of the brain. I remember a patient named Samuel. He was 74, a gentle soul who loved gardening and crossword puzzles. Samuel never really thought about stroke risk because, as he told me, I've never been sick a day in my life. But one morning, after his usual routine of a hot shower capped off with cold, he suddenly felt lightheaded and his speech slurred. His wife recognized the signs, called for help, and we were able to get him treated quickly. He recovered well, thank goodness, but the experience rattled both of them. What surprised Samuel the most was that he hadn't done anything wrong in his mind. He just followed his routine, one he'd picked up decades ago when he was younger and read about the benefits of cold showers. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not here to say you should never enjoy your shower. For many, it's a moment of peace in a busy world. But what I want you to know is that as we get older, our bodies respond differently. The same shock that felt invigorating at 40 can be risky at 70. This isn't about scaring you. It's about understanding your body's limits so you can enjoy your routines without worry. You might wonder, but, Dr. Jansen, is it really that big of a deal? I feel fine. That's exactly the sort of thing I hear every week in my office. And the answer is, it depends on your own health. If you have high blood pressure, heart disease, diabetes, or even if you just notice you're a bit unsteady when getting out of bed, these are signals from your body to be careful. Sometimes the warning signs are subtle. Maybe you feel dizzy standing up too quickly, or you have a mild headache that seems to come and go. These are not things to ignore. That's why, as a doctor, I always urge my patients to think about their habits in the context of their age and overall health. What worked in your 30s may not be the best choice now. And this is where the real opportunity lies. By making small adjustments, you can actually reduce your risk and feel better day to day. If this is hitting home for you, I'd love for you to take a second to like this video, and if you haven't already, subscribe and hit the bell icon. It helps the channel reach more people, and more importantly, Your feedback guides what topics I dig into next. Also, drop a simple yes or no in the comments. Have you ever noticed feeling dizzy or unsteady after a hot shower or a sudden cold rinse? Your stories really matter here. I read them all, and they help me bring you advice that's truly useful. Let's go back to Harold for a moment. After our first conversation, he was honestly surprised by how much better he felt with just a few changes. Instead of switching straight from hot to cold, he started ending his showers with lukewarm water, easing out slowly rather than making a sharp temperature jump. Within days, he noticed his headaches vanished, and his energy first thing in the morning improved. He'd call me with updates, sometimes laughing, "Doc, I never thought a shower could teach me so much about my brain." It's stories like Harold's and Samuel's that keep me passionate about sharing these small but powerful insights. Because the truth is, stroke doesn't care if you're careful in every other part of your life. It's often the overlooked habits that matter most. And while it's easy to brush off advice as just another thing to worry about, these changes are truly simple and can give you peace of mind. So let's make it practical. If you love your showers, by all means, keep them. Just pay attention to how you end them. If you're used to finishing with cold, try easing the temperature down gently. And if you ever feel dizzy, weak, or suddenly confused, even for a moment, don't ignore it. It's always better to check in with your doctor. Our routines are supposed to bring comfort and relaxation, not put us at risk. That's why I encourage you to keep tuning in, stay informed, and share your experiences in the comments. Not only does it help you, but it also helps your fellow viewers, many of whom are probably wondering the exact same things you are. By understanding the way your brain and blood vessels respond to simple things like shower temperature, you can take back control over your health, stay independent longer, and enjoy life's little pleasures with more confidence. That's what this channel is about, and it's what I want for you and everyone watching. Let's keep this conversation going. You're not alone in wanting to make these years your very best, full of energy, clarity, and peace of mind. I've found that most men in their 60s and 70s aren't looking for complicated rules or drastic changes. What you want, and what you deserve, is practical advice that works in real life, not just in a textbook. After all, your shower is your sanctuary, a place where you start or end your day feeling refreshed. It should be a source of comfort, not anxiety. That's why, as we talk more about stroke risk in these daily routines, I want to help you see that protecting your brain isn't about giving things up. It's about making gentle, thoughtful adjustments that actually make you feel better, not worse. One thing that often gets overlooked is how even small, positive changes can build real confidence. Harold, the patient I mentioned earlier, was honestly a bit skeptical at first. He'd spent decades perfecting his evening ritual. For him, switching to a lukewarm rinse instead of a shock of cold water felt almost like a loss. But the truth is, once he tried it for a week, he started to look forward to stepping out of the shower without that sudden jolt. He told me he felt less tense and more relaxed before bed. Even his wife noticed he seemed more rested the next morning. Sometimes it's these subtle shifts, ones you barely notice at first, that add up to real improvements in your health and well-being. What's important to understand is that the risks around sudden temperature changes in the shower aren't just about blood pressure. There are also effects on your heart rate, on the nerves that control your balance, and even on your breathing. That's why a rapid cold blast can sometimes leave you feeling disoriented or shaky for a few minutes. For someone with underlying heart or brain conditions, that sudden stress can be a tipping point. We don't always realize how much these everyday stressors add up over time, but they do. Let me share another story, because these real-life examples are often the best teachers. I had a patient named Thomas, age 72, a widower who prided himself on living independently. Thomas was healthy for his age, active, sharp-minded, and always eager to learn. He'd been ending his showers with cold water for years, convinced it kept him tough. But one morning, after a particularly brisk rinse, he slipped on the bath mat and fell, hitting his head. Thankfully, he didn't suffer a major injury, but it gave him a real scare. When we talked through what happened, he realized it wasn't just the slippery floor. The sudden cold had made him dizzy for just a second, and that was all it took. This is why I always encourage my patients to create safe, comfortable routines. If you feel strongly about keeping a certain habit, let's find a way to make it safer. Maybe that means keeping a sturdy bath mat, or sitting down while you shower, or just letting the water cool gradually instead of making that instant change. The goal is never to take away your independence or your dignity. Quite the opposite. It's to help you feel secure and in control, so you can keep doing what you love. If you're hearing this and thinking, "I'm not sure if my habits are safe or not," please use the comments below to let me know. Just write a simple yes or no. Have you ever felt off balance or lightheaded in the shower? I do read your comments and use your experiences to guide future videos. And if you haven't already, please like this video, subscribe, and tap the bell icon. It helps me, and it helps others who might be quietly struggling with the same worries. The beauty of making small changes is that they can ripple out into the rest of your day. Harold, after adjusting his shower routine, noticed that he felt steadier on his feet, even on his morning walks. Thomas started putting more thought into how he moved through his home, taking small steps to prevent falls and accidents. Both men felt more confident, less anxious, and more in tune with their bodies. That, to me, is what real health is about, not just avoiding illness, but gaining a sense of assurance in your daily life. Let's not forget that stroke prevention isn't just about what you do in the shower. It's a bigger picture that includes staying active, managing blood pressure, eating a balanced diet, and checking in with your doctor regularly. But here's the thing. By taking care of these seemingly minor habits, you're sending a powerful message to yourself and your loved ones. You're showing that you value your health and your independence. That you want to keep enjoying your favorite routines, your friendships, and the simple pleasures that make life sweet. I've spent over 30 years working with men just like you. I've seen the difference that small, consistent choices make, especially when you're open to learning and adapting. Your body may not be as resilient as it was at 40, but you're wiser now. You know how to listen to your body's signals, and you're willing to take advice that's rooted in real-life experience. So, as you reflect on your own habits, remember that it's never too late to make a change. Whether you're someone who loves a hot soak, prefers a brisk rinse, or falls somewhere in between, the key is to honor your body's needs today. Maybe you'll find, like Harold and Thomas did, that a gentler approach leaves you feeling even better than before. You deserve routines that support you, not routines that secretly put you at risk. And remember, every adjustment you make is an investment in your future, one that can pay off in more years of clarity, independence, and enjoyment. I hope you'll continue sharing your thoughts, your stories, and your questions with me. This community is strongest when we learn from each other, so don't hesitate to speak up in the comments. Your experience might be the very thing another viewer needs to hear. As we keep this conversation going, let's focus on building habits that help you feel your best, safe, steady, and confident every day. There's something deeply comforting about knowing you can influence your health, no matter your age. Over my years as a men's brain health specialist, I've seen how even the smallest adjustments can add up to a major difference in well-being. It's never about perfection, but about progress, being gentle with yourself as you find what truly helps you feel safer, stronger, and more at ease in your daily life. Let's return to Harold for a moment. Not long after he made the change to end his showers with lukewarm water, he started telling me how much more refreshed he felt, not just physically, but mentally too. His wife, who'd watched him struggle with bouts of dizziness and occasional headaches, mentioned that his mood had improved as well. He felt more present at family gatherings, more eager to get outside in the mornings, and most importantly, he had confidence that he wasn't putting himself at unnecessary risk. It was a transformation built on something so simple, just adjusting how he finished his shower. And that's what I hope you take away from all of this. Your everyday rituals matter, and it's within your power to make them safer and more enjoyable. When I checked the comments and read your yes or no answers, I see so many stories that echo Harold's journey. Some of you have quietly struggled with feeling unsteady, and some have found your own ways to adapt, maybe by adding a handrail, using a non-slip mat, or just slowing down as you get in and out of the shower. Those changes, while they may seem small, are huge steps in protecting your independence and your brain health. Now, I know some folks might worry that talking about these risks could lead to more anxiety, or maybe even fear around something as routine as a shower. That's never my goal. What I want you to feel is empowered. With a bit of understanding and a willingness to make minor tweaks, you can keep your routines and your peace of mind. If you're ever in doubt, remember, you don't have to go it alone. Reaching out to your doctor, talking things through with your spouse or a friend, or even sharing your story in our comments section. These are all ways of taking control, rather than letting worry hold you back. There's something else I want to touch on, because it comes up again and again in my practice. Many men and women tend to downplay their symptoms, especially when it comes to dizziness, mild confusion, or even just feeling a bit off after a shower. It's nothing, just getting older, they'll say. But it's never just age. Our bodies are always communicating with us. A little lightheadedness here, a brief spell of weakness there. These are early warning signs that your brain or your circulation might be under stress. Don't brush them aside. A quick check-in with your doctor, or even just paying attention and modifying your habits, can make all the difference in staying healthy and out of harm's way. And to everyone who's shared a story in the comments, thank you. You help me learn what matters most to this community. Whether you've had a stroke in the past, have struggled with high blood pressure, or simply want to keep enjoying your favorite routines without worry, your voice matters here. I read each comment, and I use your feedback to shape future advice, so never hesitate to let me know what's on your mind. If you haven't yet, please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and tap that bell icon. It's a small action, but it tells me these messages are helping, and it lets me keep bringing you stories, advice, and practical solutions for staying healthy and sharp. And if any part of this resonates with you, if you've ever felt uncertain about a daily habit, or if you have your own tips for making routines safer, just drop a yes or no in the comments. I really do read and appreciate every response. As I think back on Harold's journey, I'm reminded of something he said after a few months of his new routine. "Doc," he told me, "I never realized how much better life could feel when you're not worried about the little things sneaking up on you." He'd started to look forward to his showers again, this time with a sense of ease. It was more than just avoiding risk, it was reclaiming joy in his day-to-day life. That's really the message I want to leave you with. Life after 60 isn't about giving up the things you love. It's about adapting so you can keep enjoying them, fully and safely. Whether it's the warmth of a shower, the quiet of a morning walk, or the laughter of time spent with loved ones, these are the moments that make life rich. By paying attention to your routines and listening to your body's signals, you're investing in many more of those good days ahead. If there's one thing I've learned in my decades of practice, it's that knowledge is power, but it's the action you take that truly protects your health. If you're watching this, you're already on that path. Don't underestimate how much influence you have over your own well-being. I hope you'll keep sharing your questions, stories, and experiences with me and with this community. Every bit of wisdom helps us all grow stronger together. And as always, if there's a topic you want me to cover or a question you'd like answered, let me know in the comments. I'm here to help, and I truly care about helping you make these years your best yet. Stay strong, stay safe, and remember, your health is in your hands, often in ways you might never have imagined.